Sam.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Radio Labyrinth. This is season 6, episode 21, our weekend edition. Special thank you to Brian Silverbacks, the actor, comic book artist, raconteur, all-around cool guy who was on our show earlier this week. And please make sure that you look at our show notes and check out all the links and everything to what's going on with him. And as soon as his Kickstarter goes live, we'll mention it and share all those links as well. Speaking of YouTube, I don't know if we did this in the last show, but I'm going to do it right at the top of the show. Dustin puts a lot of hard work into that YouTube page, and what we'd really like to do is get those subscriber numbers. We would love to have you subscribe, even if you're not the kind of person that, you know, listens or watches the show. If you're getting it still on the RSS feed and listening to the audio version, which is what I do, please go ahead and just subscribe, just so we have you out there. That'd be very awesome. And, you know, you can always upvote and like and all that crap. Let's see. You can follow Radio Labyrinth and the Radio Labyrinth Radio Shack on Facebook, or we have an official Facebook page, but I think the Radio Shack is more fun. And of course, we're on Twitter at Radio_Labyrinth. We all have our own individual Twitters. You can find all that stuff there. And let's see, if you want to become a Patreon member, you can go to patreon.com/Tim Andrews. We also have a brand new shirt, hot off the presses, that I'll be sharing the link later today when you're listening or watching this on social media. And also it'll be in the show notes. So it's a tribute to the Blockbuster show that we did a week ago. So, yeah, how are you guys doing? Before we get started, a couple things I wanted to go over. Steph also has something she wants to talk about, a little slice of life. I've been all afternoon trying to find these nude photos of Jane Fonda having sex at 86 years old, and I can't find them. And if you do, don't send them to me. I don't want to see Jane Fonda naked.
Why are you looking for
them? No, I'm just kidding. But it was just on, my wife was watching one of those entertainment shows. You know, the one with the radio personalities, and they try to be like TMZ. So they cover all the news that everybody covered a day before. I forget what it's called. Dish Nation. That's what it's called. Dish Nation. Anyhow, they were talking about she wants to do some sort of nude photo set, having sex with a younger guy. And she's 86. So, you know, if you want to see Jane Fonda looking all sexy, just rent Barbarella. That's all you need. Or if you're into MILF Jane Fonda, you can get some of those old Jane Fonda fitness workout videos, or you can even get on Golden Pond, because there's good cleavage in that.
She was still hot in the morning after.
What's the morning after?
The one where she wakes up and the dude's dead in the bed beside of her.
Oh,
she doesn't know if she killed him or not.
Shit, I never saw that one. How old is that?
It's a good ass movie.
It better be 30
like,
years old.
Probably early 90s, late 80s.
Okay. You know what? I like Jane Fonda. I don't care that she sat on a anti-aircraft gun in the Vietnam War, and I don't care about that. I like Jane Fonda.
We all did it. We've all done stuff.
We've done stuff in our past that we regret.
Sure.
I'm sure.
And hopefully I can get naked at 82.
She's 82? I thought she was 86.
Oh, she's 86? My bad.
She's old.
82, 86. You're naked. You're naked at that age. I don't think it matters.
Dustin's cutoff is 82. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. No, yeah, I don't go any higher than 82. Sorry, ladies.
Even if 86 is the new 76, 76 is still too fucking old to be taken.
You're damn right it is. Keep your clothes on, Grandpa and Grandma. We don't need to see it. We don't live in Coral Gables. Just do whatever you want to down there. Oh, the other thing, I'm getting my jab on Wednesday, the Moderna shot. So hopefully it'll come of that. Yeah.
Right, joining the Moderna gang, huh?
Yeah. Fuck you, Pfizer. Oh, I almost said it. It was it was alliterative, but I couldn't. You saw me catch myself. Fuck you, Pfizer. You know, I mean, we don't mean anything by it. It's just a word you can't say anymore unless you're Mr. Garrison. And then the last thing I want to mention, I'm going for since I'm getting this shot, I'm hoping that the person who gives me the shot is Jack Elam, who was the the doctor in the Cannonball Run movies because I'm growing those Jack Elam eyebrows and I want to look really, really special.
You got to start training that left eye, though.
Cysts on the walls of her lungs. Love those movies. I don't care if they're stupid. So Steph, you said you were around a coffee pot all day in a tech.
Yeah. So did you guys get the storms last night?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning and thinking that we'd get that super tornado. And then I went to sleep and my wife woke up at 3 because there was a bad one. So that must be the one you're talking about.
yeah, it was like, so 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, the whole house shakes. My dog's lost her mind. So I have to get her out of here. I had to go put her in another room because we couldn't sleep or whatever. So you get back to sleep, get up at 5, go out, program the coffee maker every night. I'm a do or die. Have to have coffee. As soon as my feet hit the floor, I can't function without it. The coffee is ready. I go into the kitchen, coffee everywhere. Coffee all over the floor.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It was like a total crime scene. And, the last thing you want to deal with after not really sleeping because of that bullshit all night long, then the coffee's everywhere. And Neil's just trying to jimmy rig it, hold it so he can get a few drops out of it so we can at least get a cup each,
Yeah.
So we did get our cup each. So I'm like, I'm going to go to Target at lunchtime, get a new coffee pot because we have to have one for tomorrow, right? So we have to have a coffee pot. And I go to Target. And Target has that big wide aisle, right?
Yeah.
Between the home goods and the whatever. And I don't have my glasses on because I got the mask on. I can't wear the glasses and the mask. I can't see. So I just see this very tall figure up ahead in like some sort of Idlewild suit, just like a lavender plaid vest and pants. This large African-American gentleman. He's like 6'7" or something. I see him in the middle of the aisle. And then all of a sudden he does this. He gets low, like he's looking out a porthole or something in the middle of the aisle, looking at me, and he goes, "Is that Jennifer Aniston?"
Oh my God.
And I said, "What are you selling?" And he goes, "I'm not selling. I mean, I am selling something." And I'm like, "What do you do?" "Hey, young lady," he's 27 or 26. "Hey, young lady, fuck you." And this goes on with the Jane Fonda thing.
He said, "Fuck you."
I said, "Fuck you,"
okay.
in my head, but I was like, don't, just stop it right now. At what point, who told these people that to tell somebody middle-aged or whatever, a woman especially, to call you young lady and tell you that I don't know if he had like a book, like what's the thing that middle-aged white ladies want to be called? Oh, Jennifer Aniston, I'll call her.
So did you buy the pyramid scheme that he was recruiting you for?
Well, here's the thing. I'm like, "Are you selling coffee pots? Because that's what I'm here for." He's like, "No, it's a cell phone." When did this shit start happening? When did they start? This is like
In the middle of the store?
Shit. In the middle of a Target.
Did he have a kiosk?
No, I'm telling you, he was just him alone in this Sunday frock.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like right. That doesn't sound like you.
Doesn't sound right, right?
No.
That sounds off target.
Yeah.
It was.
Zing.
Anyway.
Selling phones that fell off the back of a truck.
Yeah. In a Target.
The Target. And you should have seen this outfit. This outfit was like, it was like he just jumped off the back of a crate where he was selling snake oil. I mean, it did not even look like somebody. It's a Friday afternoon. Anyway, it was bad.
I'm not interested in the cell phone. He's got some speakers that he needs to sell you in his van.
The white van. Did that ever happen to any of you guys? I must have you, Jeff, because you remember.
I was offered, but I never bought any.
When I first moved to Atlanta, I don't want to step on Steph or you. I don't want.
No. I was just the whole thing was horrible. And I bought a coffee pot that sucked and I have to take it back and go get another coffee pot anyway. So the whole day has just been ruled by this coffee pot.
When you go back, you can get the phone. I thought about it. I came back. Your come on was so, I don't know, suggestive and smart that when I first moved to Atlanta, I lived in Sandy Springs right off of Roswell Road in 285. And it was a hopping area of town. A lot of hookers and strippers lived in our complex in town for the Olympics, looking to make that cash. Anyway, anytime I would go to the gas station on the corner, always some dude would pull up in a white van. "Hey man, need some speakers?" "No, I'm good." You sure? I got stereo equipment. I just think this guy's going to shove me in a van. And apparently that's been going on for years because Mr. Show did a skit about it. And
they just said the speaker, it's just like it's like a wooden box with like a foam thing on the front, and it's full of sawdust.
Right. But Mr. Show's bit is the guy takes him to Circuit City. Remember that place? Takes him to Circuit City, negotiating with the salesman, and then they go to his house and they have potatoes and gravy. And the main guy, the guy that was selling the speakers, is the alt-right dude who was at the March 6th insurrection.
Oh, wow.
I mean, the January 6th, not the March 6th insurrection was just two guys screaming at the White House. Other than that. So you may have noticed that I have a background this week. I don't usually, but it's Sean Penn, and it's from the classic movie Falcon, or the new classic show Falcon, and the mystery Winter Snowman and all that. But did you guys all watch Falcon and Winter Snowman, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I finally watched it, and I love how it opens in the seminary where Falcon has decided that he doesn't want to be a priest. So he leaves and he puts on his wings and flies away from the seminary and ends up working for the CIA. I thought that was really cool how he's working for the CIA. And then for some reason, Sean Penn is in it, and he's playing this guy called the Winter Soldier. And it's so cool because he's like robbing banks and killing Japanese dudes, but he's also selling heroin to Russians. And it's just, this show just blew me the fuck away. I just, the movie was great, or the show is great. I look forward to what's going to happen next week, but it's kind of weird that, it's set in the mid 1970s, and
they did a really good job de-aging the actors, though. They're using that.
Yeah.
That Scorsese technology.
Absolutely. Or am I getting it wrong? I think I'm getting it wrong. That's not what happened in Falcon and Winter.
It just sounds somewhat familiar.
Oh, yes, of course. I can't say Falcon and Winter Soldier without thinking of Falcon and the Snowman, which, of course, that movie that came out a long time ago in the early 80s. And it starred Sean Penn and Mr. Timothy Hutton, all sorts of people. I feel like we talked about it last night, but we didn't record it, didn't we? We
didn't record.
How that was the first movie the first cable show that was ever interrupted. It was shown on HBO, I think, in 1980, whatever, when it came out. And a guy named Captain Midnight was all pissed off that it was $8.99 a month for HBO, and he was going to let the world know. And it took him a long time to track that guy down, but he got arrested. But no, Falcon and Winter Soldier is the latest Marvel show. I guess episode 2 drops this weekend. First episode, I have to give it a 50-50. I know everybody liked it, but feel free.
Which 50 did you like?
I liked all the action, and I loved everything that was centered around Bucky, who is the ex-Winter Soldier. Apparently, there's a new one now. Spoiler alert. But isn't there? Or I don't know. There's something going on that's crazy. There's some group that they're fighting.
You sent me a text that I don't care about nobody getting a loan for a shrimp boat.
I didn't know that I wanted to have that public, but yeah. The weird social commentary that creeps into a lot of these Marvel shows, that was one of them that was so glaringly obvious and annoying that
in episode 2, they kind of make fun of it, though. There's a little kid that calls him the Black Falcon. And he goes, "It's just Falcon, kid." And he goes, "My dad says it's the Black Falcon."
Is that what it was originally in the comic book? Yeah, that's stupid. I always thought the Falcon was a cool character in Marvel. I liked a lot of their side characters that didn't really. He did have his own book, but it wasn't like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and stuff. But I always liked that character. And
the opening scene was pretty great.
That was awesome. It was really, really cool. Very well done. A lot of cool explosions, a lot of action, and I really dig that character in the movie Marvel universe. I think Bucky is kind of boring, but we'll see what happens. The thing I like about it most is it's episodic, like WandaVision was. So you're not pressured to watch it all at once. But that's really my comment. I mean, it's a show that I'm going to keep watching. I just, please quit peppering it with all this social shit. Okay. And then my point is not that people are discriminated against when they go to get a loan. It's that he was in the Avengers, and Pepper Potts, I assume, inherited all of Tony Stark's money and could easily buy him a brand new fucking fishing boat and pay for the farmhouse, right? No, am I wrong?
I mean,
Yeah, but following the storyline track, remember, I mean, yes, they're all Avengers, but they were kind of split down the middle, and these guys were on Captain America's side, where Iron Man, you know, with Bucky killing his father or his mother, you know, it might have been a little weird, but
well, timeline wise, doesn't Captain America Civil War take place before Thanos and all that?
yeah, as they're coming together. I mean, as they're, it happens before.
Yeah, but then they all become friends. So I don't know. I'm at a loss.
I feel like Don Cheadle could have co-signed for him.
Yeah, you're right. He could have. Yeah, I'm War Machine. He's good for it. I'll co-sign it. And the bank manager couldn't have been more stereotypical bank guy. You know, let me get a selfie. But anyway, all in all, I think it was a pretty good show, and I think it debuted the highest of any Disney Plus show, right?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I think it's been viewed the most.
I haven't seen episode 2 yet, but I'm interested to see what happens when they connect.
Yeah, me too. I think it's a good show. And then on top of that, I started watching Steph's favorite show, Snowfall. My God, what a great show that is. I can't believe I didn't watch it. Yesterday I blew through 5 episodes. I watched the first episode the night before. Oh, it's so good. I love what's going on. The 3 main stories, I guess, are the Latin Americans who are selling drugs, and then there's Franklin's story, and he's the coolest kid ever, and his friends are cool. He's got a cool mom, a great cast of characters around him. And then we should have been talking about this 5 years ago, I understand. And then or 4 or whatever.
Well, me and Jeff were.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, but I didn't want you to spoil it. But and then the CIA guy, I can't remember his name, but being down in Nicaragua with the Contras, and just some weird shit happening there. I did like the guy, getting the cocaine blown into his asshole and then he died. That was pretty funny.
I'm glad you like it, man. And it just gets better and better. It really does.
Good. So, but I mean, did we cover enough of Falcon and Winter Soldier? I mean, if you guys want to talk about it more, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it?
The action stuff was really good at the beginning. I thought the wingsuit stuff was a little far-fetched. I mean, I've watched a lot of wingsuit stuff on YouTube, just those guys in Iceland and in Norway and stuff.
Oh, you mean the guys that jumped out? Yeah.
There's no way they found that much drop.
I wondered about that, if that was possible at all.
And those helicopters were like strategically placed.
Yeah, you're on a jumbo military plane and you jump out. You're not going to just, slowly fall. You're going to go flying or get chopped up by the jets or something like that. But, it is an action show, so.
And their villain, they call him Jumper. That's his thing. The guy they were chasing. Yeah, he's actually, that's his thing, is he jumps out of airplanes and he's very good at skydiving.
Who's the group of people that were robbing the bank or doing whatever bad stuff in Europe?
That's the bad guys for this whole season, I imagine.
Do they have a name?
Yeah, I forget what the name is. They say it in the second episode.
Okay.
They talk about the leader that they're going after and the whole group that he's with.
Okay.
Did you like the second episode even better, Jeff?
It was okay. It was more dud.
Or dud? What do you mean?
That guy,
oh, that's right. We didn't even talk about that. Yeah, the new Captain America. So that's not a joke. That's a serious thing. They're trying to make this. Is he a super soldier?
Yeah.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting then, and that would, of course, be.
But that's the whole conflict between the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because the Falcon donated Captain America's shield to that museum or whatever, and then they took it out of the museum and gave it to this new super soldier. But Bucky, the Winter Soldier guy, wanted Falcon to be the new Captain America.
Okay. Because
Captain America gave him his shield, and he said that's what he would have wanted.
I would approve of him being the new Captain America if he got to keep the wings. Yeah, because he'd be cool and he'd have the wings and he'd also be Captain America. I don't see why.
I think that's the whole arc of this thing, though, that he doesn't want to be Captain America. So maybe he will become Captain America by the end of this thing.
Situations will arise in which he will have to take up the mantle of Captain America to be the new face of America and our pride. Yeah, they're going to make this guy that's wearing the suit now a real douchebag. So hopefully that's what happens.
Yeah, I like Wyatt Russell.
But he does play a good douchebag though.
Yeah,
that's his goal, right? That's his character goal, to be a douche.
And in a lot of things he's been that way. Like he was Goon 2, he was the bad guy in it, and he always has the same, he plays that anti-hero really well.
They're making a point of showing him that he's a super soldier though in episode 2.
Yeah, his character name was it Johnny Walker?
Yeah.
And he's very much in the comics, but yeah, he was kind of like a backup.
Right.
Captain America.
I can't remember. Was he the bad guy? Did he end up being a bad guy in Overlord?
He wasn't really a bad guy, but he was kind of the lone wolf on his own. Yeah, he kind of took things on his own. Actually, he became the hero, sacrificing himself and stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
But I love that movie. I've watched it a couple of times.
It was pretty gory.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very different.
Yeah, it was good. I like World War II and I like zombie movies, and it was a good mashup.
Yeah, I thought so.
Which movie are you talking about?
Overlord.
Oh.
Uncle Peckerhead.
Uncle Peckerhead was great. If you watched
Yes, I did watch that too, Steph. That was great.
Oh, yeah. You liked it, huh?
Yeah,
Jeff's the only holdout.
Oh, I'll watch it eventually.
I'm just a simple guy. I just happen to have a van.
Yeah, I think it's the main character. I haven't seen her in much of anything, but man, if she doesn't look like Elliot Page.
You think so?
I think she seems like he used to be. I don't know how that works, but
she reminds me of a young Hope Davis. That's what she reminds me of.
It does look like Hope Davis. Now, who did you say when you were plugging that movie? You said that somebody in that movie was in another show that we watched.
No, the girl from Wayne is in that movie Cherry.
Okay. See, sorry, but yeah, Uncle Peckerhead. If you haven't seen that movie, the music's awesome. By the way, their band is pretty good. The punk band, all the other music shit, like the horrible, goth emo douchebag that ends up getting his.
I think Uncle Peckerhead is going to be one of those cult classics. It will end up being a cult classic.
Yeah, I think so too, for
Justin,
sure.
Didn't you say that at the end he shows up? And I thought when she saw him, it was just her imagination. So I guess he really did show up. So that leaves it open for a sequel.
Yeah, the way it looked to me, spoilers, is that that was his plan the whole time. He like aligns himself with people, uses them to get as far as he can, and then once he's fixing to get caught, he throws them under the bus, disappears, and then pops back up to do it again, kind of like the outsider.
Okay.
And she doesn't realize it until she's on stage after they're back on
screams,
stage.
though, like everybody was spoiler. You hear them all screaming. It was like, he was going on a full-on rampage.
Yeah, I figured they'd have a splash of blood on her face right before it cut off, but they didn't.
There's top 3 scenes is the metal guys. When the metal guys pull up in the parking lot and they're just rocking out and they're total douchebags.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Jeff, you'd like Rose McGowan Jr.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Actress.
That's what's her face's little sister or something, or niece or something, isn't she?
Maureen McGowan.
Yeah.
So she is related to Rose McGowan. She looks like her. She also has that. She carries herself like, that actress that I'm having a hard time tonight.
I know the Slums of Beverly Hills. That chick.
Yeah.
Orange
is
the
Red.
Yep.
Yeah, she carries herself like that actress. Who, by the way,
Russian doll.
Yeah, what can
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah, Natasha Lyonne. That actress had a real rough patch for about 10 years, maybe less than that.
Yeah, well, she was on heroin,
right? Mm-hmm. But she really pulled herself out of that, and she's always been a good actress. And I like to see that. I like to see somebody that I liked when they were doing stuff before. Come back like that.
I loved her in Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, me too.
It's so big you feel like a little baby sucking on them.
It was only $200 a week.
How much? I thought, by the way, that King Kong versus Godzilla or whatever it's called, Godzilla versus King Kong, was coming out today, and I was all excited I was going to watch it tonight, but it's not until next week, March 31st. And I think you have to go to the movies to see it, which I won't be doing.
I thought they were doing both.
It is. Yeah, it's both.
Who's streaming it? HBO Max?
HBO Max.
Oh, okay. Then I'll watch it on HBO Max. But I love all those old movies. I love all the old monster movies, especially the Japanese ones. But I love King Kong. Loved the Jeff Bridges one. I think that's the first movie I ever saw in a theater.
No way he beats Godzilla, though.
Well, you have to wait and see. You just have to wait and see. Why wouldn't he beat Godzilla?
I think they'll fight and it'll be a draw, and then they'll team up together
and fight the other monsters. But they released there was a story today that I saw online. There are no plans for any more monster movies.
I've read the reviews and they're pretty good, and they say that it's a fun monster movie. Then the battles are epic and they're shot really well.
Good.
So, I mean, obviously it's not like an Academy Award winner or anything, but
what is these days?
I know. I mean, who cares if it is? Who cares what it is? Because
right. Will it win an MTV Video Award, MTV Movie Award? Because if it does,
Best Kiss.
Best Kiss. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You see him making out behind the Chrysler building.
That would be pretty funny.
It was like a glowing blue drool stream.
No, Godzilla. Yeah, King Kong walks out from behind the Chrysler building and his crotch is glowing blue.
He uses the Epcot Center as a ball gag. I had to think of something big and round. That was the only thing that came to mind. Died. A couple of people died. Craig Mums Grant, 52 years old. Was he a drummer or something? I don't know.
He was in the Wire.
No, the Oz.
Oh, Oz.
Yeah. Somebody, a music. I'm not looking at his picture. Yeah, he was on Oz. He was great on Oz. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was on a bunch of different shit, but Oz, he was really good on there.
Only 52 years old. Jeez, that's terrible. Oz is one of those shows that I guess people just don't talk about anymore, but it was a groundbreaking show, drama. They used video and film, and they had a narrator the whole time. It's just such a great show.
So gritty.
Yeah, very gritty. Yeah. And big name people that you see today got started on that show. I can think of a couple off the top of my head. Christopher Maloney. I mean, he got started in other stuff, but I mean, he was really known for that. And Edie Falco. At one point, she was doing Oz and The Sopranos.
Wow.
She didn't know if nobody knew that The Sopranos was going to take off, but she was a guard in Oz, and she was sleeping with the warden of that section. Anyway, all right. Well, rest in peace, man. That's a sad loss. He was a good actor, and apologies to anyone for messing up his name. Houston Tumlin, whatever, 28 years old. He was one of Ricky Bobby's kids in Talladega Nights, 28 years old, and took his own life.
Yeah, it sucks to make it almost all the way through COVID and then kill yourself. What the fuck?
Does anyone know why? Yeah,
I'm sure
his girlfriend.
Depression.
Yeah, his girlfriend said she was devastated, and he had been battling depression, but he shot himself for some reason.
Terrible. Well, that is sad.
If you ain't first, you're last. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I tried really hard and didn't say it.
It's terrible if you're first, you're last.
Now he's with sweet, blessed little baby Jesus.
Yeah. Damn.
If they leave us behind, what do they want us to do?
Yeah.
What do they want us to do?
That's true.
In my opinion, those people will be the first ones to laugh at it.
Maybe not him, because he suffered from depression. But I get where you're going. Oh, I hug myself. I hope everyone makes jokes. Ooh, that one fell.
Oh, okay.
We've all suffered losses here on the show, so
We have even from all different ways, meteorites, all that. This one, way too young, 104 years old, Beverly Cleary, who wrote a bunch of books, tons and tons of these books for kids that I read in elementary school. And we also had teachers that would read them to us, mostly Ramona and Ribsy. Do you remember Ribsy the dog?
I remember
you guys.
the
Yeah,
mouse
you guys
on the
were.
motorcycle.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was for me. It was more Mouse on the Motorcycle. But I mean, I remember the Ramona ones. But yeah, we were always read Mouse on the Motorcycle, and then it had the Saturday afternoons movie that they made for it too.
I loved Ribsy, and it must have been fourth grade when those books were read to us, Jeff. Don't you think that Mrs. Stoller was our fourth grade teacher? So she must have read that to us, or I don't know. My memory is starting to fade on all that. I remember
the librarian used to read us books too.
Yeah, but Mr. Butler was his name, was a science teacher.
Hey, he read Soup.
Soup, yeah. Hey, you guys want to listen to some Soup? Huh? Hey, you want to get some
and he read
Where the Red Fern
Grows.
Yeah. All of us cry. Oh, I love those. That book is great, but you only want to read it once. It's fucking sad.
Not even the once. I mean, I never watched the movies. Somebody told me how it ended. I don't want to watch that. No thanks.
Yeah, and they showed it to us. Like, we'd all gather in the library, and they'd pull out that giant laser disc that had to flip over halfway through, and it would just, you watch all these kids just walk out of there just bawling.
It's so macabre. Like, why did they do that to kids? I just don't understand why
I don't know, that between that and Old Yeller and it was just like, if you're going to watch a dog movie, they're going to shoot it at the end of it, no matter what.
I couldn't even handle the Fox and the Hound because they weren't allowed to be friends at the end. That devastated me. I was tore up.
Yeah.
Oh, they weren't? Why were they allowed to be friends?
Because he was a fox and a hound.
One was a fox and one was a hound.
Watch Milo and Otis. That's a good one.
Milo and Otis.
That's what the dog and the cat and their friends.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll try that.
Well, rest in peace to Beverly Cleary. And
104 is a good run.
Yeah. I'd say better than 28. Oh, these are falling. I'm not doing okay. Now these are the big two.
Yeah.
George Siegel passed away, 87 years old, complications from heart bypass surgery. But what a career. And we're not even, I mean, there's a lot of stuff of his I don't even know. But if
I literally just watched California Split the day before he died.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've never seen that.
Great movie. It's on Tubi.
But I like Tubi. Tubi's cool. Yeah. Most recently on the Goldbergs, which is a huge popular show. In the 90s or early 2000s, I forget. It must have been the early 2000s, wasn't it? Just Shoot Me with
Shoot Me.
So good on that show.
Yeah, it was great.
That's where he first came into my. Well, no. It would have been. He was always the guest that they booked on the Larry David show whenever somebody would cancel. And he goes, "Oh, we have to have George Siegel again." Okay. But he was great on there, and all sorts of other things. I just don't recall. What other stuff was he in that we would know? Big stuff.
Pushing Daisies.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Right.
Yeah. California Split. Watch it, man. It's a fucking great movie.
What's it about and how old is it?
It's maybe 60s or 70s. Let me Google it here.
Yeah.
I saw David Spade. Did you read his little tribute to him?
No, what did he say?
74.
74, okay.
He just said that he remembers. There was a lot of little tidbits that he remembered, but one of the things was whenever they would be filming, if any of the cast or crew brought their family on set, he would always go, "Strangers on the set, exchanging glances," and then he would just go to his room. He wouldn't even speak to them. He would just sing that and then go on to his to his room.
He was a singer. He'd show up on the Tonight. I mean, he put albums out, but he'd show up on the Tonight Show with a banjo and play music and stuff like that.
He was one of those people that would hang around Groucho's house too. If you read Steve Stolyar's book.
Oh, okay.
He talks about like George Siegel and Bud Cort used to show up all the time uninvited and like invite themselves into Groucho's dinners and parties and stuff.
Who would invite Bud Cort anyway?
Yeah.
So the I think the first time, okay, now I'm looking at his IMDb and I can't believe I forgot it. Flirting with Disaster.
Yeah.
David O. Russell movie. I think it's the movie he made after spanking the monkey. That's an odd film.
Yeah.
You've never seen it, and you're into incest. Anyway, David O. Russell directed this film, Flirting with Disaster. It's Ben Stiller and Patricia Arquette. And Ben Stiller plays a guy who's adopted. He knows he's adopted, so he wants to go on this quest to find his real parents because he and his wife just had a kid, and they can't think of a name for the son. So, and he's really neurotic. But this movie, I believe it was 94, 95 that it came out. No, 96. Was one of my favorites, certainly from the 90s, but it's one of my favorite movies. I just rented it for some reason because at the time I liked Ben Stiller. And so you have Téa Leoni, Alan Alda, Mary Tyler Moore, and George Segal are married in this film, and they play Ben Stiller's parents. And lots of funny shit goes on in this film. Richard Jenkins is in it. He's amazing. Josh Brolin. He and Josh Brolin and Richard Jenkins play federal agents. They're gay and they're a couple and they're partners. So that's funny, the dynamic that they have in this trip across the country trying to find his parents. And he finds his real parents, Alan Alda and Lily Tomlin, and then he finds out that he has a brother, and then they make acid and they're wanted, and their last name is the Schlichtings and no one can say it right. And throughout the whole film, George Segal and Mary Tyler Moore are so funny back and forth. Who are the shit king? Say the name. So if you've never seen it, go ahead.
Ask yourself, how do I maintain this?
Oh, yeah. When Mary Tyler Moore goes, see these, you need a good bra. My favorite line in that whole movie is when Josh Brolin's talking about hypospadia, which is an irregular curvature of the penis. And Ben Stiller gets up because the baby's there, and he goes and sits with Téa Leoni, and he goes, "Have you ever heard of hypospadia?" And she looks at him and goes, "Is there something wrong with the plane?" Anyway, it's a great, fast-paced, fun movie. A lot of famous people are in it. Howard Stern's wife is in it. She plays a cheerleader, a twin, or something. That
I wonder if it's streaming anywhere.
It's on HBO Max.
What is?
Flirting with Disaster.
Oh, sweet. No, I'll watch both of them this weekend if I have time, because I'm going to be watching a lot of Snowfall.
I can't wait till you get all caught up.
Oh, I love shows like that. I don't know why. It's like a Sopranos, something like that. But one thing I'm taking away from the show is that if the Democrats hadn't stopped the Republicans and the Reagan administration from funding the Contras, we never would have had a cocaine problem in the United States. Think about that. Damn Democrats.
Damn it.
Anyway. And then another big, huge name, Jessica Walter, who just takes over anything she's in, takes over the screen. And wow, we know her primarily, our generation. We know her from two shows, Archer and Arrested Development. Just so amazing, funny, talented. And she's been in stuff forever. She was 80 years old.
And
Play Misty for Me with Clint Eastwood. That was good.
Yes, that is a terrifying movie.
She just passed away in her sleep too, like out of the blue. She wasn't sick or anything.
Yeah, well, she must have had a stroke or a heart attack or something.
She was so creepy in Play Misty for Me.
Play Misty for Me, if you've never seen it, is Clint Eastwood's directorial debut. So it's the first movie he ever directed, and he plays a jazz disc jockey on a jazz station in Carmel by the Sea, where he ended up being a mayor there in California. He was a mayor there for a number of years, but made this fun movie where she's a stalker, and it's really creepy. I mean, she makes Glenn Close look rational in that movie that I can't remember.
Fatal Attraction.
Yeah, that.
Didn't they remake Play Misty for Me? They remade it.
I don't know.
I think
I
they
don't
did.
know.
But anyway.
I mean, you look at her IMDb page, it is just stuffed with TV shows and movies. And she was like the go-to. If you're looking at the 70s, she's the go-to person for TV shows. Marcus Welby, MD, the FBI, Banachek, Mannix, Medical Center, Love American Style, which was
She did record a whole new season of Archer though, so there's going to be a whole season with her on it.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Posthumously, yeah.
I wonder if they'll pay a tribute to her.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah.
Goldberg's did on the first episode when George Segal died.
Okay.
title card up at the end and little montage.
Well, rest in peace, Lucille 1. Lucille 2 is still alive, so if they ever another, I mean, they'll probably never do any more Arrested Development stuff, I don't think.
Hey, you never know.
But anyway, so that's who died, and boy,
Died.
We did lose big time names in comedy in Hollywood this week for sure. So you got a couple stories you want to talk about before we wrap up?
All right. Well, first off, right off the bat, Steph, I got good news and I got bad news. What you want first?
Always the good news.
Good news. Snowfall's got a season 5 coming.
Yes.
Sweet.
Oh, yes.
I've been telling you guys about Snowfall. I can't believe you didn't watch it. I mean, it is literally the best show about the Iran-Contra scandal and East LA cocaine problems.
I saw people bitching in the comments on the story saying like, what more story is there to tell? And they haven't even got to the Iran-Contra affair or anything. The whole them getting busted for selling cocaine so they can fund the rebels. They haven't even got to that part yet. That's like the main part of the whole story.
Well, that's the whole thing is they haven't even hit the pinnacle of the crack epidemic. That isn't even come until the late 80s.
It's just spreading still now in season 4. They just started getting the coke out to different cities from LA.
Really? So it's a slow moving series.
No, I mean it's like in real time, like how it happened back in the.
It started in like 1982, I think.
You're in 83,
and now we're in 1985.
Okay, so it takes them a couple seasons to get the 2 years go by. Okay, I do think it's funny that if you were alive back then, like we all were for the most part, and aware of what was going on for the most part, we all were. The music that was played, you forget that we live in an era now where you have everything that you possibly could like or listen to. You can find a radio station. You can find a streaming service. You can find anything you want that you like and never have to listen. But you have these 2 young black kids driving in a car and they're listening to Air Supply because that's what was on the radio and you like it or lump it. And that's the way the culture was in the early 80s, all the way through the 90s. I like it better now because, people aren't forced to, just adopt whatever's on the radio. But when they pull up to the traffic stop and you hear the guy beating on the trunk in the back of the car, so they crying, "I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you."
I remember in the height of the crack epidemic, my mom was like, "Did you ever do crack?"
Yeah, our parents would ask us, "Did you ever try crack?"
I'm like, this is fucking Mansfield. I can't even get weed here.
Yeah. If you wanted crack, which we didn't know this at the time, but Elmira was the closest city to us, Elmira, New York. And I think you had guys there selling toothpaste and they would get arrested for selling crack. And then it was toothpaste. So they would get charged with delivering false goods, some weird shit like that. But I mean, crack in our town. You're lucky you could find weed in our town. It wasn't shit.
All right. And the bad news, Steph, Killing Eve is going to end after season 4. They're not bringing it back.
The last season wasn't that great, I have to say. I was not as big of a fan of this last season, so I could see that.
Why does it take 4 years to kill this lady?
Well, she is a badass.
We're talking about doing a spinoff. I don't know if it's with her or not, but
killing Blanche.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? They should introduce a character named Adam.
That Jodie Comer chick, though, she seriously she's the most believable, murderous, psychotic chick I've ever seen in my life, in anything, ever.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, she is this complete sociopath. She's creepy, and she has no conscience at all. And I don't know. Her character is great. I like her. I would love to see them take her and do another show with her. Right. And then get rid of everybody that's around her right now.
Get rid of Sandra Oh and all the
Sandra Oh and the whole crew, and just start her off in a whole other thing.
See, Netflix is finally, I think, coming around to the fact that if they stagger releases instead of putting them all out at once, then people might come back on a regular basis. So they've got The Circle and Too Hot to Handle, which are two unscripted shows, they're not going to release them weekly. They're going to do them in batches. So you'll have like 4 episodes come out, and then another 4 episodes, and then the finale will be by itself. So they're trying to, I guess they created the binge thing, and now they're trying to take a step back and start
see how the other services are doing better with the week-to-week releases.
Yeah, but I like the being forced to wait. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's more nostalgia. I mean, I don't know. At first, I thought it was just nostalgia, like, oh, that's how TV used to be. You know, you get it once a week. But I think it's just a really good. I mean, it's really good for you to be able to mull over the entire episode and anticipate what's going to be in the next one.
It keeps the buzz going, at least for the run of the episodes, even if it's only 8 or 10 episodes.
Yeah,
Keep it going for 2 months or whatever instead of just one day when
it works. It works for Disney Plus with Mandalorian. It works with the WandaVision show, and it works with Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I forgot to say one thing.
Raised by Wolves did that too.
Yes, HBO Max. Falcon and Winter Soldier is shot primarily in Atlanta.
Yeah.
There are some cool scenes in it where you can actually see Sweetwater Park, and there's an old mill along the river there that was burned down by William Tecumseh Sherman during the Civil War. You don't know who that is? Well, sorry. He was a Union general that burnt Atlanta to the ground. Anyway.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but there's you can see them training in there. And I was just out there with Sean, you know, Mr. Mike TV, and his brother knows some people there, and you know, was showing us around. And it's so cool that you can see in this mill, this old mill, it's brick, you can see the char marks from the fire still on the bricks, and it's still there, and it's a monument. But if you've never been to Sweetwater Park, it's pretty cool. They've got all sorts of weird, like unmarked Mennonite graves on top, and there's old bootlegger shit all over the place from the 30s or whenever alcohol was outlawed. But you can see it, and I think it's cool. That's one thing I really, really dig, among other things, of living down here and then Hollywood's moved here. You can go, oh yeah, I know where that is. That's not New York City. That's Ponce.
Watch Doom Patrol. That's filmed in Dustin's backyard.
Really?
Yeah.
They're filming a lot in Tucker this week, and I don't know why. I don't know what's going on here, but I've seen they had full
Stranger Things is all over the place down there.
Really?
Yeah.
They've got like 7 different productions going on between Covington, Conyers.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy every time. I mean, there was literally they had, was it last week? There were 2 productions that were going on in 2 separate fields next to each other, like within a half a mile. Completely separate, one studio, one another studio. And it was this normal road that people take for a cut through, but you couldn't go down it for like a week because there's just constantly a flow of people. And I think one of them was Netflix, but I'm not sure who the other was.
Cool.
I just want to say to Dustin's point, you know, about like retaining the information or whatever. I didn't see Deadwood until after it went off the air. Binged it.
Yeah. Right.
Didn't remembered I loved it. Remembered certain things while I'm rewatching it now, and it's like I'm watching it for the first time.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes you blow through shit so much or so quickly that, you know, now I kind of need to go back and do a rewatch of The Expanse, because I'm thinking, okay, I watched season 1, and then I think a year went by, and then I binged all of it. So. You know, there's certain things in there, but, you know, instead of binging the series again, I think I'm just going to read the books. He says because he never reads, but I'm going to try. I'm going to give it my gumption. I'm going to give it my best.
Well, speaking of Raised by Wolves, they have started production on season 2. So it is actually in production now. I think the father character, he tweeted a photo of himself in makeup and costume, you know, saying they had started back up. So we can probably look for that. I would think probably either spring of next year or maybe even fall of this year. If they
need to hurry before those kids grow up.
Yeah. They're gonna
kill them all like they did.
What's gonna, you know, they could just pass it off as it took them a long time to get to the tropical zone.
Yeah,
that's true.
But that show, and that to me still sticks out as one of my favorite shows from 2020, man. It was just so well done, and it was a surprise. I didn't know what it was about. that's my favorite kind of movie or TV or whatever to fall into.
Yeah, I think in a few years everybody's going to look back on the pandemic, and you're going to, just like everything else in your life, or at least I do anyway, I associate it with what I watched or what movies came out. So it'll be Raised by Wolves,
Tiger King
for sure.
The Boys season 3 or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's nuts. But yeah, Raised by Wolves definitely can't wait for that second season. See where they go with it. Something else I think might be neat if it actually comes to being done would be Greg Nicotero from doing the new Creep Show. He wants to get together with Robert Rodriguez and remake Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Cool. Hope it's 3D. Like, that's the first movie that was ever shown on television in 3D.
It scared the crap out of me. That was the first scary movie I ever saw when I was a little kid.
Scary ass fish man. Fuck that. Scared the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It was also one of the first where they had to use those experimental camera rigs to do all the underwater shots that they were doing, which hadn't been done before. And the suit that he was wearing had those weird rigged up breathing apparatus in it. But yeah, it'd be neat to see. I mean, it's that's the one movie in the article. They say that's the one thing when they got together years and years ago, that's what both of them have always wanted to do, was remake that movie in particular. And they figured Tom Cruise kind of killed it when he started making the monster movies and did the Mummy movie, and it kind of tanked that whole universe that was going to be done. But maybe they can make this one and kind of reboot that whole.
Yeah, the Invisible Man that they just did was not that bad.
Yeah,
come on, that movie was terrible.
Yeah, it was all right.
I think, I mean, they did mention that in the article, but I don't know, that movie seemed like, if that's going to be the remake, I mean, I don't consider that. I consider it a good standalone movie, but it doesn't seem like an Invisible Man movie. It seems more like just a sci-fi or a Black Mirror.
But it wasn't even about the Invisible Man. It was about her running away from him.
Right.
It was all about domestic violence.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, make an Invisible Man movie where he's not running around trying to beat up his ex. Just make us. I wish
they would go ahead and just say, here's all the social justice movies of whatever. If it's domestic violence, if it's racial, if it's whatever. And then here's the other movies, the shit people want to watch.
I was praying for that in The Invisible Man. I'm like, will this please have a story at some point? I want. Sorry, I know you guys liked it, but man, I really
didn't like it. I hated it.
Oh, such a waste of time. Last night, are you done? I don't want to step on you if you have more stories. I'm sorry.
The only thing I did say, good news for Jeff and really,
absolutely.
They're the spinoff series of What We Do in the Shadows, Wellington Paranormal, that Jeff's been VPNing.
Yeah, everybody ratting him out
coming to the US.
Everybody's ratting you out on social media. You don't have to steal it anymore, Jeff.
I'm still going to keep stealing it because this most recent episode just came out yesterday and it's hilarious.
And they're only going to start with season 1.
Sure they're going to start with season 1 on the CW this summer. So
yeah, you're going to be well ahead.
It's going to be on the CW.
The CW
and HBO Max.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Dustin. I forgot last night. I wanted to tell you guys this. Last night for a little bit, because I can't watch people play video games, and no matter who's doing it. But I did watch for about a half an hour. Josh Warren texted me. He's our friend. He's been on the show several times. He was on Twitch last night on the hell's the name of the Crown channel with Robert Kirkman and Dan Fogler, and they play these characters. And I think Josh spoke about it on the show last time he was on, but it's the Crown channel on Twitch, and they play these characters, and it's a lot of fun. They play tanks and all. It's just I don't really understand it, just to be honest, because I'm not a gamer, but to hear them all interacting and talking and having fun, if you like that sort of thing, check it out. Again, it's the Crown channel on Twitch, and it's a blast just to hear them. Those guys are all funny, and there's a whole cast of other people that I don't recall, but they're all funny, and it's a good show to watch. This week in our feed, Mike TV returned. You're not going to see it on YouTube, but there was an episode of Mike TV. So they tell me that they're going to be doing 2 shows a month every other week, and it's a show on our network, our little What? Well, don't laugh. I'm not going to insult them. I'm saying that they're thorough. They go deep into shows, and Lisa talks and Dean talks, and it's fun. So
it's a podcast.
It's a podcast. You know, Dean and Lisa and Roby, they'll talk, and
it's like a show, and people talk, and it's it's a show.
It's like radio, but it's not on the radio.
But it's recorded and then sent to Tim, and then he forgets to edit it for a week, and then
it's on the internet.
But look for Mike TV. I know there are a lot of people who listen to our show and listen to their show as well, since it's in our feed. You're not required to. Just don't get pissed that it's in your feed. If it bothers you that it's in your feed, just don't look at it.
For U2 album.
I woke up at 3 a.m. and Bono was standing over my bed. Just come on, listen to this. I know it's on your fucking phone. You seen Bono's daughter? My God. Anyway, no. Apropos to nothing. Google Bono's daughter. She's an actress or a model or some shit. I don't know. They're all famous.
I'm tonight at 9:00 going to watch the Scrubs podcast live show.
What's that on YouTube?
They sold tickets. It's like $10 a ticket.
Oh,
it's that Scrubs rewatch podcast, but they're doing their first live Zoom show.
Cool.
And if you want to Google somebody's daughter, Bill Lawrence's daughter, she's a musician.
No, I wasn't saying
her name's Charlotte Lawrence.
I was just saying Bono's daughter is a very talented actress and stuff.
I'll look up Charlotte Lawrence while you're looking up Bono's daughter.
Okay, Steph, that was for you. Anyway,
she's a very talented musician.
I'm sure she is. I am sure she is. Yeah.
Oh wow, she is. I can tell.
You can tell you're listening right now during the podcast. Steph, I'm so sorry for this misogyny at the end of the show. I thought it was a good show up until this point, but then we went down that misogyny lane, and
I didn't massage anybody.
I got told, that I guess really. I haven't been in a good mood all day because it's like
young lady. Is there something bothering you?
Yeah, I mean Jennifer Aniston is like 6 years older than me. I mean, so there's that too.
Maybe you just thought you were a horrible boss.
You just didn't have your coffee this morning. That was
that's good. Is it that time of the week?
I just don't ever do that. Don't ever do that.
Hello.
Get down low. Oh.
Is that Ethel Merman?
I'll kill you. Get out of here. It's like, can't I just be chubby and look for a coffee pot? Get out of my way.
Is that Dana Plato now?
Dug her up and wheeled her through Target.
What are you doing in Target, Liza Minnelli? Damn.
You're sealed too.
You fine.
Coming at me, Cab Calloway, in your zoot suit in the middle of the damn day.
Would you like a cell phone?
He opened up his jacket and there's like cell phones are all on the inside. I got a flip phone for you.
Anyway.
That Butterfly McQueen. Why is deceiving me? No, we are not doing any character voices. These are just voices. It's not.
I'm not. Listen, he didn't have a voice. He was very just like.
He used telepathy. Is that?
Yeah, he was like. I mean, he sounded like any millennial.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston.
I lost some of my sight when I was a child. I've recorded I wrote some more lines today for our podcast that we've been telling everybody we were going to do, and we're going to finish it by God. Syracuse Sam, and I'm trying to be funny with it, so I hope you guys like what I wrote.
Okay.
That one piece is funny.
Which piece are you talking about? The one I read to you yesterday?
Yeah, the one you read me the other night.
I'm trying, because we recorded it and it ended up sounding like it was a real podcast about a real serial killer loosely based on me. So this is, I don't know who wrote it. Syracuse Sam chapter 2 in the beginning. Seems like a lot of the questions are the same, but anyway, I answered them and so you read it over and you let me know what you think.
When are we gonna then we're gonna re-record this thing then?
Yeah, we're gonna re-record it. Hadn't we decided to re-record it and not use what we had already recorded?
I mean, when are we gonna do it? We just need to set that up.
Yeah, we can I mean, I can still use parts of what we recorded, but yeah, we need to add the new
usable
content.
Do we have enough to put out a teaser?
We just need to collectively agree on which part to tease.
I like Steph's idea of not hearing Sam at all in the first episode.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I want to hear more from your dad,
Smith,
or your dad character, the character based on your dad.
Yeah, but I can't do that. We're gonna need somebody else to do that voice. I just want to do Sam. So, do you want to do that voice, Jeff?
Yeah, I can. See if your dad will do it.
Okay,
Ira
could do it.
Have Ira do it.
Yeah, if he wants to, we'll talk about it.
Yeah,
I'd love to have Ira involved.
We'll figure it out.
There's going to be all sorts of things. I want to talk to his teachers. We discussed this, but anyway, we are working on it. Here's just a little bit. I'll do a little bit of it. Steph, ask me to tell you about my earliest memories.
Tell me about your earliest memories.
Well, my Aunt Martha's husband ran a cockfighting unit. She was my babysitter back then because Dad was out of the picture and Mom was busy driving the bread truck. Anyway, I remember all the chickens, helping my aunt gather the eggs, cleaning the coops. And then I'd clean up the corpses of the chickens after watching them tear each other to pieces. You know, it's funny. I made a necklace out of their feet and wore it to show and tell in first grade. So stuff like that.
That is a lot better. Yes.
Then I used to throw toads in the air and watch them fall down at the ground, and they'd be alive, but they'd be dead. Okay. All right. On that note, I'm starting to fade, and let's talk about barkville.org.
Oh, guys, well, big good news this week. Tommy got adopted.
Yeah.
Tommy Frigonato.
Hey.
Yeah, that is a very nice, young, active couple. They came actually to look at a bunch of other puppies this lady was fostering, and then they just saw the little mobster that is Tommy all off on his lonesome beating the crap out of some other dog. They just fell in love with him. So anyway, Tommy has a home that he can run as a mob boss should. And Barkville, we took in a bunch of dogs and puppies this week. Lots of puppies, man. They're all over the place right now. So if you can throw us some money, we could appreciate it. That would be very helpful. If you want to foster, if you're looking for some cute ass puppies, we got them. They're adorable. Have you ever heard of a Dogue de Bordeaux? You know what those dogs are?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the Hooch, Turner and Hooch.
Yeah.
We got a
big
shit ton of those puppies right now. So if you guys are into that, please go to barkvilledogrescue.org. Woof.
Woof. Keep it canine. And until our next program, all of you out there, please remember to keep it canon. But not, Frank Cannon, because he was too big to be believable as a cop. Maybe a desk cop.